This time, I'm taking on my old friend and teacher, Will Lord.
I've got this challenge!
He's a primitive skills expert, and the man who taught me a lot of what I know about prehistoric survival. We're heading deep into the bamboo forest, hostile caves, and rocky mazes of central China.
Ed's going to miss things, because he's going to be moving so fast. I'll be listening to the birds. I'll be actually listening to the forest itself. Yes! Ah!
I'm in China, and I'm up against probably the toughest opponent that I've faced so far.
Hey! Will.
Hello, mate.
Hello, mate.
How you doing?
Wow, how lovely to see you.
And you.
Oh.
Oh, mate, I'm just stoked you're here. I haven't seen you in ages.
I know, it's been, what, 7 years?
Yeah. Will Lord is the leading primitive skills expert in the UK. 7 years ago, I employed Will to teach me basic survival skills. He taught me how to make a bow and arrow. He taught me how to knap stone into a cutting tool. Our relationship in the past has been very much one of teacher of student.
You will.
I'm very well, mate.
You're going to need to be. But I'm very good at being able to thrive and survive in the wilderness. I'm going to be using a bit of an ancient skill set, a bit like a hunter-gatherer.
There's a truck waiting for us down there. Let's go and jump at the back.
Okay, brilliant.
Okay, cool. Did you wear that jacket on the plane?
Well, we're running into the viewpoint, guys, to actually have a look over the ground you're going to be travelling in.
Gary Humphrey is a bit of a legend in the survival world. He's ex-Special Forces, he's led expeditions all over the world. Gary will be designing the course. He'll also be monitoring my progress throughout the race.
This course here, I've designed it to push the fellas to the extreme limit.
They will start in a treacherous gorge that runs east to west. And they'll find their way south towards a disorienting maze of limestone shards called the Dragon's Teeth. They then enter one of the largest bamboo forests in Asia. On the other side lies a massive sinkhole. The first man to reach the bottom will be the winner.
I've been over this journey with a GPS, and this is a maze. This area, you've got sheer cliffs, massive cave systems that will draw you in for shelter, but you have to be very, very careful.
The cave systems, do they go underneath the mountain?
Some of them do. Some of these have been unexplored. If you go into them, you might not come out. To me, the biggest issues here, as we can see, is the weather. It could be 35 degrees, it could be 10 degrees at night.
The landscape is worrying me, and the weather. We're in monsoon season. Navigation, knowing which way is north and which way is south, is going to be extraordinarily difficult.
So, Ed, I want to up the stakes a little bit. I'd like you to leave your knife back here.
So with no knife?
Well, there's plenty of rocks down there, and you came to me for a lesson in it.
Yeah, okay, mate.
Yeah?
Yeah, all right.
Challenge is on!
Yeah!
Got a smile on your face. You're 1-0 up at the moment. Okay, let's get to the start point down in the gorge.
Right.
I think I'd be a fool if I was to think that I could outdo Will at what he is good at. Whether he fully understands that I'm not the naive person that I was when I trained under him, I don't know. But I do have an element of confidence that over those years I have gained a lot of experience.
This is it. This is the gateway. This is the gorge. I'll see you in a week at the bottom of this sinkhole. Best of luck.
Best of luck, Ed. Cheers.
Okay? And go!
It's cold. It's super slippy. The water's moving really fast. It's getting a bit tricky around here.
Every rock is covered in moss, slippy as an ice rink. The direction I'm travelling at the moment is not south. South is straight through that rock face. So if I can find some way to branch to the left, then I'll be going back south. I'm just wondering whether I can get up that gully up there. It's a gamble, but I'm going to take the risk.
That looks like a seriously bad choice, Mr. Stafford. All the best with that. That's just completely insane.
The rocks are slippy on either side. Under normal circumstances, this wouldn't be much of a problem, but it's so wet. This does not look very good, actually. This feels sketchy.
I'm going to follow the river until I can see something much more obvious. That was a desperate attempt right there. See, things are flattening out. In fact, this is fantastic. Just have a look back in a little while, You'll see Ed's face.
I can't get back down. Slow it down now. Slow it down, Stafford. This is a long game. This is about not getting injured. It's hard going up because I'm slipping. But it looks like I'm getting close. I am pretty much at the top now. Nice one. You can see the river is way down below me now. That worked. I'm up and out of the river valley, which means I'm now heading south. And Will Lord is heading west.
On the tracker, it's quite interesting to see the tactics that Ed and Will are using. Ed is taking the more direct but harder route south. He will need to cross dangerous 300-foot limestone cliffs while Will is heading west, following the river. This is a longer but less risky route out of the gorge.
I've got this challenge!
For a bushcraft expert like Will, this environment offers plenty of resources.
Yes! Come on! See, things are flattening out. What I'm starting to do now is I'm starting to look for stones, because I'd really like to make myself a knife. What I'm looking for is a rock that actually doesn't have all these little strata lines running through it. Because when you hit it, all it does is it makes one plate fall off of another plate and nothing holds itself together. The art of breaking rocks like this pretty much died out 4,000 years ago. Actually feels quite like flint, because it's smooth, it's going to break, and it's going to have sharp edges. I think we found our dagger. Yes, yes, yes! So a knife is going to be able to help me to cut through the bamboo, slice up meat. A knife is so important. This is one of the skills that Ed came to me to learn how to do. Yeah, we've got a point, and we've got fairly straight and fairly sharp edges coming on here. But that's my knife. I'm very happy with this. Later on, I'll fix a handle onto that. So with that, I'm going to move on.
With rain now pouring down off the rock, this is going to present a massive problem for me in terms of firelighting, in terms of hypothermia. I'm already starting to feel cold.
We're in monsoon season. These guys are going to have a hard time. They're wet and cold. Their bodies are losing heat faster than they can produce it, massively raising their risk of hypothermia and total exhaustion.
It looks like I'm coming through into an area. It's the first bit of view that I've had. And look where I've got to go. Right up and over that again. So south is that direction, which is just another wall of rock. Am I being stupid about something here?
From the tracker, it looks like Ed has reached the Limestone Cliffs, which are over 300 foot high. These cliffs are wet and slippery and treacherous. It's the quickest route, but a high-risk strategy.
Just using the bamboo now as hand grips. My heart is beating fast. This is so ridiculous now. There has to be a better way of doing this than just going straight up one hillside and straight down the other. Looks like the entrance to a cave. And it is cold. That is ridiculous. That is so cold. I need to demonstrate this for the camera, how strong this wind is. See that? That is how strong the draft of air that's coming out of the cave is. If there's air flowing through it, that means there's an exit on the other side. that could potentially save me so much time and energy climbing over this massive mountain. But you can see how dark it is down there now. I'm going to need some form of light, which can only be a torch. But if I'm to make a torch, I've also got to get a fire going as well. I think this is an opportunity that makes me think it is worth staying here for the night, making myself a hasty shelter, and then tomorrow I can prepare myself properly and enter the cave, because that could be my winning ticket.
It's the end of day one. Both men are trying to find their way towards the Dragon's Teeth. Ed is taking the more direct route up the cliff, but it's a treacherous option. Will's taking a longer, safer route following the river out.
I'm just gonna build a little hasty shelter. A very simple construction with a bit of an A-frame at the front and a longer pole behind. Clearly I've not got a cutting tool in order to make this shelter, so I've literally just got to either pull out dead wood from the bushes or snap off small saplings.
It's getting dark. Now it's about 16 degrees. Tonight, probably 7 degrees. I mean, that's hardcore. And if they don't have a shelter, they're in a world of hurt.
Tomorrow is all about making fire and making torches that are durable enough to be able to last long enough to go through a cave like that. Tomorrow is going to be a very big day.
I cannot believe it! You sexy, sexy beast. Wow! I am home for the night. Some nice little bits of wood laying around as well. Ah, perfect. I've got to say, bamboo is amazing, isn't it? Nice bit of fire. The shell of this bamboo has got silica in it, and you can actually strike a spark off of it. I'm going to put a dry nest into here. And to get the nest, what I'm going to do is look around, everything's wet. So we're going to take it from the outside of the bamboo. This is going to become the tinder. That is as dry as a bone. This is where this knife is really paying off now. So what I have here is the saw, and then what I have here is the half board. Rub that backwards and forwards quite hard. I'm not going to give up, I'm just going to go again. Baby, we have fire. I spent my whole life being called a caveman, and you know what? Tonight I literally am the caveman. So the sun's up, I need to consolidate. This morning is about completing this little knife. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use the resin as a glue now. What I've got here is some of the resin that I've been collecting as I've been travelling. You can get resin from many places in the wilderness, but on this occasion I've gone to the pine tree. When a pine has experienced any form of damage, what it does is it goes into a self-repair mechanism and it begins to bleed gluey, gloopy gunk, and that will seal the area up where it's been damaged. All that presses in nicely. I need cordage. I need to bind the handle onto that knife. Nettle makes really great cordage. Just by itself, it doesn't really have what I'm looking for. So we need to spin it. That locks it all together. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bind them up tight. Good, I'm happy with the knife. You made a stone tool today, Ed? I get a suspicion not. Last night I was dreaming of people that lived in caves. They used earth pigments and they left their mark on the walls. This is a rock that I found in the river and it's quite red. I'm going to paint my hand and put that on the wall. It's gone perfect. So with all that being done, I can get back into the race.
The sun is starting to come out, but I can't trust that it will stay out for long. I need to make torches in order to go through the cave, and I think that bamboo as the main shaft of the torch is probably my best option. If I haven't got a knife, I'm just going to try and smash it into the right shape I don't want the whole thing to burn at once. I want it to work its way down, a little bit like a cigarette. If I sandwich layers of birch bark with lumps of resin, I think that's probably my best bet. My estimate is that they'll last about half an hour. This whole plan relies on the torches. I need to make fire. Because I don't have a knife, that is particularly tricky. And my hands, because it's been raining so much, my hands are damp. I've never actually lit a fire in such humid conditions. But luckily, the sun has just come out. All I need now is a half-board. As ever, easier said than done without a knife. Splitting on my hands to make them nice and sticky. Come on. Breathe. This is about composure. No. This could be something to do with humidity. It's 80+% humidity here, and getting a little pile of dust to reach the right temperature to ignite is that much harder. Come on. I think I've got it. I've got it. Happy days. If that cave does have an exit on the other side of the mountain, that will massively accelerate me. That works really well. Got myself a torch.
My stomach's been rumbling for quite a while, I tell you. There might be a lunch going on in here. Things like widgery grubs are living in here. They're a great source of protein. Oh, look at that juicy little fella. There's got to be some protein in there, right? Every little bit helps, don't you think? It was a little bit like eating juicy bark.
I've got no idea what this cave might hold, so I'm taking torches and firewood to prepare for every eventuality.
Okay.
The airflow has reduced massively. The very tight tunnel has opened up into a massive chasm, and the ceiling is probably 20 foot above my head. This is eerie now. This is properly eerie.
Ed's completely disappeared off the tracker, so I can only assume he's gone into the caves. 2.5 weeks ago, this river was not here. 24 hours of rain, and we've got a flood. We're going into another cavern, but just be careful. I tell you what, this is pretty cold. This is probably 3 degrees. Yeah, this is a no-no for them. You know, we've got the water rising. This is 3-4 feet deep at the moment. We get another 2 or 3 feet, and this whole cavern will be in flood, and there'll be no exit.
Okay, I've now got water in front of me. It's up to about shin level at the moment. I'm getting colder by the second. I can feel breeze again. I can feel breeze coming. There could indeed be an exit, not very far ahead. I've had no option but to enter the water now. And it's getting much fiercer now. Oh, that's cold. That is properly cold. No, that's too cold. I'm too deep. I'm now wet up to my chest. I haven't got much more than half of the torches left, and the water is just getting too deep. And I am freezing. Properly cold now. That water is likely to be about 8-9 degrees Celsius, and I do risk going down with hypothermia. I've decided to stop and I'm going to use the firewood.
It's the end of day 2. Ed still hasn't reappeared on the tracker, so I can only presume he's in a cave somewhere. I'm getting slightly concerned because if nothing happens on this in the next few hours, then I'm going to have to go and look for him.
I think it's probably better to have my skin. Oh, that was warmer already. That is so much warmer. If I can get these dry, I'm absolutely sorted. I have had to backtrack, but I'm going to take the positives out of this. I'm under no illusions that I need to up my speed now, but if I also know, well, he'll be spending a lot of time on intricate bushcraft, he'll get so involved in it that could be to my advantage as well. So this one didn't work, but the race is definitely not over yet.
Well, here I am in my shelter. You have no idea how good that feels.
It's day 3. Ed has reappeared on the tracker. Will's in the lead and is heading towards the Dragon's Teeth. Ed has got almost a day's worth of ground to make up.
Come on, let's go.
I think this is what I've been looking for, the Dragon's Teeth.
The Dragon's Teeth is an absolute nightmare to navigate in. The topography here is horrendous. You walk through the jungle, you walk downhill, and next minute you've got a 300-foot cliff. It's dangerous.
Stafford! You in here? The warlord's here? The whole environment is just closing in on me, you know? It's doing that thing where it punches, scrapes and abrades. It closes off. It's things like that that are making me feel like I'm wasting time against Ed. Use your senses, Will. Use your senses. I'm not navigating. I'm going in any direction I can actually go. Feels a bit hopeless.
Will is still in the limestone maze. He must be lost. Ed, meanwhile, is heading south and made it to the Dragon's Teeth.
I can just see a vertical shaft of light in the distance, which means possibly there is a way through. Ah, this could be it. This looks like it leads all the way through. There's no way out.
You might be able to get some advantage by looking up a bit. You might be able to get some perspective on where I am. Because what I've got is I've got a valley and I've got 2 hilltops. So I should be able to navigate between them and go south. Now at least I know where I was headed. This is what I've been looking for. This is a breakthrough.
There is light through here, but it's just a sheer drop. All of that energy expended. And there's no way down. Just trying to put myself in Will Lord's shoes. He was my teacher, and he does have a very calm nature, a quite inspiring way of looking at the world, really. He wouldn't allow the frustrations to get to him, I know he wouldn't. Got to keep myself calm. I've got to keep myself composed. Keep it together, Stas. Keep it together. What would Will Lord do? I think he'd try and get above it. I need to get bird's eye view on it, don't I? I need to get up high. The rock is now really wet and slippery. One slip and it's a broken back. Let's just do this stuff. I'm up. Very nerve-wracking coming up here, but it was worth it because if I can go around this re-entrant, out that valley, and south is in that direction, that's given me an exit strategy. I am out of the Karst. I can run again, I can run again.
These guys have been on the move for 3 days. They're probably burning around 3,500 calories a day because of the amount of running and climbing they had to do.
I need protein. Fish and chips would be a good thing. I just saw a little ripple in the water, and so I know that there is fish in here, but I'm just thinking if I can get some ash leaves, then what I can do is crunch up the ash leaves, get the saponins out of them, that will then starve the fish of oxygen, and fingers crossed the fish that are in there, that are hiding in the little crevices, will just float to the surface, and I've got supper. Saponins are a chemical compound found in a lot of plants around the world, and they're highly toxic to cold-blooded animals, like fish. Okay, all I'm going to do now, wet it, and then, oh, you can see the colour. This method is so simple that Chinese school children do it for fun. Come on. There's one. Ah! I've got one. Let's see if there's more. Let's leave that there. There's one. Yes. Yes. It's a weird sort of bottom feeder, slightly catfish-esque. Because it's so small, there's no need to gut it at all. This is what I needed. Doesn't taste like sushi. It's a bite-sized protein snack. Ah. That was... Maybe I should have gutted it. That was the most disgusting thing that's made me happy ever.
It's the end of day 3. Will's heading towards the bamboo forest. The great thing with a bamboo forest is this is your tool shop. You know, everything here we can use. Easy to burn, it's like tinder. We can make traps with bamboo. If you can work with it, then you can build whatever you need to.
I've been thinking about shelter for the night. Looks like I'll be able to weave between the bamboo that's all round, create like a basket effect. Come on, round you come. I might put this on the market when I've finished. 1-bedroom home, $2,000. In the Bashan forest of China. Well, here we are. We've got bamboo floor, bamboo sides, bamboo roof. I have a structure. I've got barely any strength left, so I'm running on 0. I'm going to try and build a trap and try and get something to eat. What I'm making here is I'm making the bow that's actually going to operate the trap. That is going to be what sets the trap off. This is the power system. Now this little bit that's coming off here, and that's going to be the trigger. So finally, I've finished it. It's called the Decapitator Trap. When something comes in and it tries to take the bait, the bottom sleeve slams up, as you can see. It's not coming out. So I'm just going to set the trap tonight.
I'm almost certain I'm behind right now, and yet I'm not panicking. Things have changed a lot in the last few years. I've grown up. I consider myself an utterly different person than I was when I was a student to Will, and the new version of me is quietly confident that he can pull it out of the bag and smash it through the jungle. Right, I'm gonna get some rest. That's me.
This trap hasn't been activated. All that effort. It's pretty bad news because at the moment I need something to eat, and I desperately need some energy.
I've entered a sea of bamboo. It's slowing me down massively.
On the tracker, it's shown that Ed has made ground. Will's gone static. I would think he's made camp. You know, he's going to store up some energy, ready for the final push.
Hold on, I think I've seen something. Oh, got him. Look at the size of this thing. I got adrenaline pumping through my body. I just feel like I've been at war. There's no joy in taking that. That's the natural order. When you're in a place like this, you fall straight into the natural order. You know, there's not a hamburger growing on a tree. It comes slithering through the ground at you with sharp teeth. How about that for a headband? Eat your heart out, Ed Stafford. I'm putting a snake on a bamboo, and I have roasted snake. Challenging Ed Stafford in a Karst landscape, and I'm eating some kind of viperous pit snake. It's tougher than fish. It's more flavoursome than chicken. This is undoubtedly the best thing I've had to eat since I got to China. Life is good. And I ain't suffering right now.
I can see there's a flicker of orange in front of me. And I think it's Will.
I'm far enough away from him now to be able to speak. I can overtake him. That is undeniably the best thing that has happened. I am now in the lead.
The end is in sight. It feels somehow satisfying to be racing through this forest against an old friend.
Oh yeah, baby. Whenever I've put the pigment of the land on my face, you get something, you get some kind of grip and connection. I've just got a brand new level of strength just by putting that on. Let's get this done, shall we? Come on.
On the tracker, it's shown that Ed has made ground. He's now ahead. However, the bamboo forest is a nightmare to navigate. This is the largest natural bamboo forest in Asia. It's impenetrable. They haven't got compasses, they haven't got maps. You can get disorientated really quickly.
I'm wasting too much time. I need to be constantly heading south, and these obstacles are just getting in my way.
Can't find a trail at the moment. This will slow me down a bit.
I know that I'm heading roughly in the right direction, but it's just too slow. If I can somehow get above the bamboo, I can see the fastest route out, I can head in that direction and then circumnavigate the bamboo. But at the moment, I can't cut the bamboo because I don't have a cutting tool. But if I look around me, there's other rocks all around in the bamboo. So maybe I can make myself a crude serrated edge so that I can actually saw some of the bamboo down so that I can build a structure so that I can get up and get a proper view of what is the fastest way out. The ground is actually littered with these fragments of rock. All I need to do is smash them up so that they're at a manageable size, take little flakes out of it to make it serrated, and I've got myself a saw. That's it. See, one of the things that Will taught me to do was flaking. What I need to do is use another edge and serrate little notches into this. If I can make myself a usable saw using skills that Will has taught me, then that will be good. You see already, rather than being a flat edge, it's undulating, and it doesn't have to be pretty at all. That is already turning into a rudimentary saw. Okay. That works. Sometimes you need to consolidate in order to accelerate.
Everything wants to just hold you back.
The navigation is the big issue here. It's like a maze. They get lost in there. They can't see the sun, so they can't navigate.
Have to remember what the snake told me. Be smooth. Glide.
My plan is actually very simple. It's literally to lash the 3 tripod legs together at the top, and then hopefully I'll have enough strength to literally walk it up into position, splay the legs out, and then put some rungs on it and get up and above the canopy. It's quite interesting. I've had to really rethink my tactics on this race because I came in somewhat arrogantly thinking, do you know what, I understand bushcraft on the fly, and yet already I found myself in a situation where I've had to use Will Lord's teachings to make myself a saw out of stones. If I hadn't actually taken that time, I wouldn't have been able to cut any of this bamboo, and I wouldn't be able to solve this problem.
Is up.
Right, all I need to do now is to lash on crossbars like a ladder, climb to the top, and I've got my view. This platform is a little risky, but if I can get up there and see the route, it'll be a massive advantage. This is the moment of truth.
Oh, yes. That is extraordinary. I've got a view over the entire bamboo canopy. A monkey's eye view. In front of me is kilometres, maybe 3-4 kilometres of bamboo. But just to the west, there's only about 150 metres, and I can escape. This has worked. This has properly worked.
Right, don't go up if you can't get down.
Ed has changed direction totally, and he's got the shortest path out of the bamboo forest. He's heading towards the open grassland, towards the sinkhole.
I can see the sinkhole in front of me. The climb is most definitely cheeky. And I've got to somehow also get to the bottom.
Yes, the pasture.
This last bit is so critical. And you have to think about it. They're tired, they're racing, they've got adrenaline, they're dehydrated, and they've got a lack of food.
I can just see the lip of the crater still through the trees. I reckon 200 metre climb, and I'm there, I'm at the lip. My legs feel like lead weights. My lungs are burning. I just hope I haven't pushed too hard too soon.
That is not a good sign. I can see footprints in front of me. He's in front of me. Ed Stafford! I'm coming for you!
The end of the race is down there, right at the bottom of the sinkhole. They're going to have to contour around the edge of the sinkhole, work their way down, and I will be waiting at the bottom.
This is the lip of the crater. Ah, wow, look at that. Race or no race, I cannot not stop and appreciate. That is awesome.
On the tracker, it's close. It's about 400 meters ahead of Will.
There's a vertical drop straight down. This is treacherous, but I need to find a way in.
However, you make one navigational error, and that could be game over for you.
There's absolutely no way of just descending straight down there. That would be suicide. Ah! Okay, this is frustrating now. I'm losing time.
I found a room. I am that far from the finish line. Win or lose, I'm in there.
Ah! It's the path. I completely missed it before. This must be the path.
Stop myself, actually sliding to the bottom. Yes!
Okay, we've got an area of sort of forest at the bottom.
You can hear him coming round. He's moving fast.
And I can see Gary. There he is. How you doing?
All right, and you?
Did I win?
Come on!
It's been an honour, and I don't use that word lightly, going up against Will. He really is what he presents. He doesn't have an ego, and fair play to him for just bringing his heart and soul and pouring everything into this competition.
Gary,
How are you?
am I the first man out?
Sadly, you're not. Sadly, you're not. There's this man over here.
Ah, look at you!
Out of all the people that I've ever taught, I'm very, very, very proud to have met Ed in this life and had the privilege of teaching him something. It really has been an honour.
Thank you for being my teacher in the first place, you know. Might have beaten him in the race, but he's got a skill set that is so much more in depth than mine, and I'm humble enough to admit that, you know, I do not consider myself a finished article at all yet. There's always room for learning more skills, and I think I'm still on that path.